What's going on, guys? Back with another Tundra video, and today we are going to be sawzawing or whatever we have to do to get the rear shocks off, because we're going to be replacing those at all costs today. And then I ordered some 1.5 inch wheel spacers, which hopefully they fit without having to cut the lugs, so that's going to be a whole hassle. But basically I wanted to do that so that I could put these stock Trail Boss wheels and the 35 inch Recon Grapplers on this truck to test fit them, because this thing obviously needs new wheels and tires, at least new tires. And so me thinking I've got some sets of tires that are perfectly fine, why not use them? So I want to test fit it, because this body style Tundra is not known for fitting 35s without like a 6-inch lift or bigger. I'm not afraid to cut it, but I also don't want to cut everything out from inside the fender well. If it does fit somewhat good that we can just do some decent amount of trimming to make it work, then we'll get some new wheels to fit on the Recon Grapplers that are made for this truck so that we don't have to run spacers. I don't really know if I want to put 20s on this truck though, but I might do it just so that I can use the Recon Grapplers. Or I also might steal the crosswinds off of Larry, because that's a 16, that's a 16. The issue is we would have to run spacers because it's not going to clear that upper control arm. It'd be touching, I mean, even if this tire was taller, it would hit, and that's taller and wider. But these tires would definitely be better suited on our off-road truck. And Larry's, y'all, I've got something in the works for Larry. Larry's gonna be totally different here soon. Enough rambling, let's get this thing inside, start saws on, and then we'll tackle the wheels and tires. So thankfully the liquid wrench worked its magic. After sitting for like a week, I was finally able to grab the top with some vice grips and get that bolt to spin free. And this thing is completely, just push it straight down. One hand, totally shot. I mean, these are some old Toyota Bilsteins. Definitely the original, totally clapped out. So here's the difference between Chevrolet and Toyota. For one, thread pitch is different, but also hub bore. So as you see, a lot larger on the Toyota. This is a hub centric, this is a lug centric. I typically like to do hub centric, but we had to do it on here because if this had a lip on it, our Chevy wheels would not fit on there because it's a smaller diameter. So Toyota wheels obviously can fit over the top of this, but Chevrolet cannot fit if this had a lip on it. There's your specs on that. You can see down there the thickness of that. It actually doesn't allow for a ton of thread. So as you can see, the thread does not come all the way through, but I think there's plenty. We've got the thread locker on there. We've got them properly tightened down. This is not a permanent setup that we're going to be putting a bunch of miles on. Should be totally fine, but I have seen people post about this being kind of sketchy, at least, you know, the way people feel. You can get extended lugs or extended threads to replace the factory ones with. That's definitely a good option, but then you're not going to be able to run a 1.5 unless you cut those down as well. But, you know, just do whatever you want to do. I'm not really worried about it. I think this will be fine. So everything clears. We'll be able to mount everything nice and good. So let's grab our wheels and tires and stuff them on here. All right, let's sit this baby down and see how close she is. I'm gonna watch the upper control arm. It's clearing. It cleared. That looks so good on there. Holy crap, that looks freaking awesome. Definitely filled in a lot. It's much, much taller, the whole truck. See, this is 1.5 inch wheel spread. Dude, it's pretty daggone good fitment. Definitely gonna touch there. Maybe just the black part. That guy for sure. I don't know. Update. The entire thread comes through on the back for whatever reason. I don't know why. So, anyways, that's the update with that. Also, we're gonna do a little size comparison. Look at this. 265/70 16 versus the 35 1150 20 Recon Grappler. Quite a bit of difference. We actually are gonna have tread. Let's hope we can turn. This is my first time riding since we did the lift, and with the wheels and tires and the spacers, it's honestly pretty good. I mean, it's smooth. I always am a little sketched out when running spacers, just a little sketchy to me. She definitely rubs, but it's not undrivable. I think we honestly could possibly cut enough to not too much issue. There's a little rubbing. It's just a little rubbed up. We're able to make the turn, no big deal. Truck still drives pretty much the same as it did. I think I'll probably will end up getting wheels and tires specifically for this, for sure. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna run spacers, we'll see. But it's just, I can't get it out of my head. I just am all the time, just, it's ready to explode. It's absolutely amazing what a good set of tires will do. I mean, it went through that 2-wheel, ate it up. It had to be in 4-wheel last time. Oh, my Trail Boss wheels. Dude, that, whoo, she looking right. All right, guys, well, there she is. I think it looks pretty daggum good, and I was super impressed how well this thing handled off-road with a good set of tires on it compared to last time when we were on the slicks, and it pretty much had to be in 4-wheel drive to get anywhere. Just went straight through that little mud hole, no problem. First time actually putting the Recon Grapplers to work, and they did good. So, dude, it looks freaking sick. I'm actually really digging the green and black wheel combo, or the black wheels on the green truck. But they're huge, dude. It's so funny because these look tiny, or they look small on the Trail Boss because it's such a big truck. And then on here, they look absolutely massive. I do think 20s look too big on here. This style, maybe if I went with wides, or, you know, if I was going for this route, maybe bigger wheels. But I think these 20s look humongous on this truck. But I honestly was really surprised how much this thing can turn. So it only rubs on the front right here, this little bitty piece, which it's already started to wear down. We could easily just lop that and I think completely clear up front. And then in the rear, it's rubbing, it's covered up in mud, but it's rubbing right there. We'll see if it rubbed on the other side because I turned in left. Probably did, yeah. So it's rubbing right there, as you see. I don't know how far up that pinch weld comes, but if you're able to knock this off maybe an inch back, I mean, this is all plastic. Take that mud flap off. Unless that pinch weld's way up here, I think you should be able to cut that fairly easily and clear these things. You've got a decent amount of room between your upper control arm and the tire. Not a ton, but enough. I was really surprised how much this thing can actually turn, because I posted on the Toyota page asking, like, can you run 35s with a 2.5 inch? And they were like, get ready to cut like everything out of it, and half the people were like, no way. But I will admit, a lot of them did say you don't want to run this size because you're not going to be able to articulate as good as with a smaller setup. And that's for sure the case, because this is stock rear, but we're just not going to have enough room. I want to be able to just dip down any trail that I see, you know, flex out, be optimum for off-road. And I think 35s are just too big on this truck. They do look great. I mean, that looks freaking sick. That looks really good. If you're going for the, like, street truck, just, you know, pavement princess as they call it, you could, I think, definitely stuff this setup on here and daily drive this with a little bit of trimming. But if we do want to off-road, I think the 35s are going to be too big, which sucks because the Recon Grapplers are just sitting around. I would love to be able to just buy a set of wheels, swap the tires over, and run these, but I think the 20s are too big on this body style truck, and I think the 35s are too big for us to get optimum performance. Let me know in the comments, because this does look really freaking good, I have to admit. But I think we will have to stick with like a 35 or a, what is it, 285, 70 or something like that. I don't really know, but that's why I went ahead and got the wheel spacers, because I wanted to test this setup before I went ahead and bought a whole set of wheels. Plus, now that we have the spacers, this can, you know, we can run any of the things. We got some cool wheels. Y'all might have seen them in this video, I don't know, for the Trail Boss. They're gonna go in there. And so while we do have this as a main off-road fun rig for me, I also want to be able to throw setups on it for y'all that have this truck and that's not what you want. You're wanting to have like a street truck. So we're gonna have the best of both worlds. Dude, that looks freaking tough. It's so much taller. I went to like hop in it when I first got in, and I genuinely hopped into the side of the seat because it was so much taller than I'm used to it being. You can kind of see, I mean, it's got just the tiniest little baby squat going on which I think looks good. I know that's not optimum performance off-road. Leaving the rear stock. I was able to swap out the rear shocks. I don't even think I showed y'all that. They're probably filthy now. There we go. Yep, swap them babies out, left the rear stock. And there was a driving portion. If y'all haven't seen that, you'll see it in a minute. Give our first thoughts on the lift kit and this setup driving down the road. But dude, it looks good. I really didn't want to go through that mud hole because I didn't want to scratch up my wheels, because if I ever want to return my Trail Boss to stock, I don't want to have skin up wheels. But hopefully they're all right. We'll go clean them up. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Definitely comment down below. Let me know which route you think we should go. Should we just get some new wheels, put these tires on there, and just leave it stuffed like this? Or do you think we should just spend the extra money, get a complete setup, do like a 16, 17 with like a 33 on here? Just, you know, a little off-road wheel, give it some good poke, have the right setup so where we don't have to run spacers or anything. I'm down with that because spacers still are just a little sketchy to me. But definitely comment down below. Let me know which way you think we should go with the wheels and tires on this truck. And with that being said, hopefully you enjoy. See y'all in the next one.